Oh, hello. The ladies are here currently in the living room talking about all things Summer House.
Yes.
Summer House.
Summer House.
How
We're really
are you
getting
doing?
into it now.
How are you doing this fine day, Kristen?
I'm great this fine day.
Yeah, it's we're going into St. Patty's Day.
Yes.
So I do have a little touch of green for our YouTubers.
Yes,
Got a
you
little
do.
touch
I
of-
noticed.
I don't own a lot of green though. Do you own a lot of green?
A couple of things. Like what I'm wearing
you're
now,
wearing
I guess
green?
is kind of green.
It's like a deep green. It's like a forest green.
forest green.
This I
That's
thought
it.
was a little bit more
That's
like
more green. That's more appropriate.
a
What
little
you're
more
wearing.
Eringo braless, as I've my one joke for St. Patrick's Day.
Love
My
that.
one joke, yes, but we're coming up on
And
St.
Eringo
Patty's Day.
Bra means long live Ireland.
Does
in
it? Is that what it
Gaelic, I
means?
believe.
Oh, isn't that nice?
Long live
For
Ireland.
sure.
Gaelic.
So it is St. Patty's Day in real time.
Yes,
But it is the summer in the summer house.
Yes.
So where
And
do we
I was
pick it up?
getting jealous because they're at the beach.
I know, it looked
and I
lovely.
wanted to be there.
It looked nice. It did. As
It
we were
did.
in the March doldrums.
Yes.
You
The
beware.
gray, coldish month
Beware
of March
the
that we're
Ides of
in.
March.
It was really making me miss the beach and the sun.
So there was like a few things of note in this episode. Kyle and Paige talk, and she was like, "Look, it's all good. We're never not going to be friends. I don't want to fight."
I
with
was
you."
glad to see that. 'Cause
Yeah.
I didn't want the season to go on with them like not liking each other.
They
So I'm
hugged it
glad
out.
that she was like, no problem.
You
I
know, they
understand.
navigated pretty well for being on TV and
Yeah.
being friends. I mean,
They're
it's-
very good friends.
it's a lot
obviously.
of pressure to be on TV and then have to, do every problem that you've ever had be out in the public eye. Like
Yeah.
it's a lot of shit and noise to navigate.
Yeah.
So I think they do a pretty good job of it. Actually,
I do. I agree. This cast, they do.
Now Kyle needs to work it out basically with Craig, but Craig is. Do you know that he mentioned it in this episode? Craig was kicked out of Kyle's wedding.
I didn't
Because
know
he's a
about
lying
that
sack
until
of
he
shit.
said it.
Craig
So
is.
what would Paige back that up? I guess so, right? Like Paige would say, yeah, he got kicked. That means Paige would have gotten kicked. I don't know.
Paige wouldn't have gotten kicked out.
But no, I'm saying like if Craig got kicked out, did Paige like let him go and she stayed behind at the wedding?
I don't really know what happened. That was
That's
a while
interesting.
because they got married now, like what, 3 years ago or something.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So they may have been new, and I don't know.
So I thought it was funny though at the beach, like they were all comparing boobs because now Lindsay's boobs are even bigger because of the pregnancy, and then
Yes.
you just saw like Jesse Solomon sitting there, like, this is a great conversation, like kind of like
he was kind of loving that.
yeah, and then he's a little worried about
Lexie.
he's a little worried about Lexie being jealous. You know what I mean? I wonder how because.
Didn't she have a look like she looked uncomfortable?
Well, also,
The first time I haven't seen that girl smile. Like she was just sort of like,
later,
stone
well, she's got no boobs, right? So later in the episode, when they're in bed
Yeah.
together, she was like, "I'm worried because I heard you're a boob guy and I don't have any boobs." And he's like, "What?" He's like, "I'm a butt guy. Get to know me." Like it was. I thought that was great the way he said that and like made her feel better. But
I
like,
think he was sweet with her.
yeah, but she's clearly very insecure, and if she's
Yeah.
very insecure and she's a jealous type, I don't think that's gonna work out for good old Jesse and Lexi.
I don't think.
And he's worried about it too.
Yeah, he is worried. He's been talking about it to the other
He even
girls in the
said
house.
somewhere in the episode, he said, I thought I was going to leave here, like committed to her. Now I don't know.
Yeah.
Like he was like, I was like committed. You've known each other 2 weekends. But he's like, I do really like her. But
Well, he seems like he is a flirt, but like an innocent
oh my
flirt.
God.
He's not a flirt that it'll give you like, like, oh no. He's an innocent flirt, but
Yeah.
if he's with somebody who's jealous, they're
It's
not going to, no, it's
And
not
it's
going to
also
work.
like, that's also a little tough, especially if you were someone who is sensitive to it.
Yeah. She is self-conscious. She's a gorgeous girl. She said she's been modeling since she's 10 years old. She's been doing it a long time.
She's a very pretty girl.
She's very pretty. But she did say that it has come up about, the chest and stuff, like with modeling.
Don't get them. Don't get the implants if you don't want them.
No.
Lexi gives me wood. Now, Lindsay blurted out, though, while they were all comparing boobages on the beach, she blurts out that her and Turner don't live together.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I thought they
didn't know
would have
that
lived.
either.
They're obviously not married, but I thought they were living together.
And Danielle was like, wait, what? She was like,
Right.
what do you mean you don't live together? Like,
Yeah.
you're having this man's baby. And I understand Danielle's reaction
Yeah.
because it was a little bit of my reaction. But when Lindsay started talking, she made a shit ton of sense because she was like, after what happened with Carl,
Yeah.
nothing is forever.
Yeah.
And I don't want to I want to pump the brakes. It's enough we're having a baby. Do we need to live together too? Like,
Yeah.
I get what she means. Even though it's not ideal,
Yeah.
she is really being smart.
I'm very sensible about it.
I think so. But that's Lindsay. Very pragmatic. Moving on.
This
This
is how
what,
I want to have it done.
right. And
That's it.
she is right because then she doesn't have to go through the trauma, per se, of that not working out. And
She's
I
been
don't
through so many breakups. I think she said, like, what if we wind up breaking up, even though they have a baby together?
No, I agree.
So, probably Mr. Koof respects her for this in a
Mr.
way.
Koof, Cuff, Koof.
Koof.
Turner the doctor. I thought the next scene, though, where Lindsay is playing volleyball, prego, like she needs to go. She needs to be gone from the summer house.
Well, there was an Instagram photo that
Oh,
Erin,
my
get this,
God.
Erin Lynchie put out a
Leachy.
photo. Leachy. Sorry. I'm getting the names wrong today, man.
It's all right. It's okay. I'm a name person. But Ellen Leachy.
Erin
You know how I
Leachy.
remember that? I remember it like a lychee martini. That's how I remember it.
Okay.
Lychee martini, which I hate, by the way. People love those. Oh, have you ever had one?
No.
They're so nasty.
Really?
Nasty.
Lychee martini. Okay, I'll stay away from it.
Anyway, it's all good.
She put a picture out on her Instagram of her and Lindsay having lunch together. So that might be like a teaser
Oh.
that she's joining Real Housewives of New York.
She should be.
She should be. I think that
Lindsay
she's
will
at the
shake.
stage in her life. It would make
Lindsay
sense.
would if they
She would be a shit stirrer
if
on that
they
show.
got rid of Bryn.
Yeah.
If
put
they
in
got rid of
Lindsay.
Bryn and put in Lindsay, that would be genius.
I think so. And why would Erin put a picture of the two of them having lunch together on their Instagram page?
Interesting.
So,
So Carl had a little revelation in this episode. They were out. They were all kind of split up doing whatever.
yeah.
And then Mr. Radke says that he hasn't had sex for an entire year. Paige was like, what? It wasn't West there too, and he was kind of like,
yeah, he looked like,
whoa.
uh-oh.
West was like, dude, does your palm have blisters all over it? Like, what's going on, dude? West was
Yeah.
like, no, it's not happening.
Poor Carl.
But he said he emotionally wasn't there.
Yeah, he had to work on himself, get over it, get over all the
I
stuff
get that though, and he doesn't
happened.
want to, jeopardize his sobriety. But Paige was also like, so, Carl's become a priest.
Yeah.
like all these things that are going on. However,
I think they were fascinated
but
by
if
that.
you remember though, Lindsay bitched about Carl. She'd be like, we like that he wasn't really into sex. They weren't having a lot of sex, that he wasn't like
Yeah.
needing a lot. So maybe Carl's just not a super sexual guy.
Maybe.
He ain't no Imrule who
No.
brings back chick number 2.
Oh my
Like
God.
not 2 nights, 2 chicks.
Did you see he was trying to cover the camera
Did he put
again?
did he put leopard undies over the camera? Like I'm sure
Was it leopard undies?
I'm sure Imrule wears leopard undies.
I'm sure he does.
He's so slithery. Like he just is dirty bird to me. Like I'm like, ooh,
Dirty bird.
dirty birdie. Like eesh. He is probably a walking dripping STD.
Oh God.
Dude.
I think that a little bit with him too, just because it seems like every night he's having sex with somebody else.
Oh, I love that
Like
West.
every night.
West calls him Orgy Beast. Where's Orgy Beast?
He better just be a little careful. Make sure he's wearing the condoms.
Make sure. Oh, I don't know. He would be the type that I think wouldn't. He'd be like, it's okay. It's all right, honey. Nothing's going to happen.
I'll be
He
fine.
probably has children from coast to coast.
I was surprised though that he said he was married. Like he was married.
Oh, wasn't it like a
earlier
setup
on.
marriage?
Yeah,
or
like to
something?
get, he was here illegally, and in order to get his green card, I guess he got married. It was somebody that he was in a relationship
Right.
with, though.
Or
But that kind of accelerated the process. But just look, I think that he was saying the confines of marriage where he
he
didn't
could
like
not do-
them.
Of course not. The
So now
man
he
has
went
to
the
bang
total
something
opposite
new every
way.
day.
He went like complete opposite
He's
way.
just greasy to me, like a greasy, slithery, oily, sex sex god beast. Not a god, just like a beast.
Yeah.
Like Eileen
he does
Davison.
bring a lot of sexuality into this
Like
show.
Eileen Davison. You beast. Beast.
Beast.
Beverly
we keep
Hills.
going back to that reference. I love it.
By the way, West said something so funny. He was talking about how busy he is now, like this new job, and he's traveling.
Oh, yeah, he's traveling all over.
It was such a classic, strange, but it made me laugh out loud. He was like, he's like, I'm sad because I don't get to like wash out my takeout containers anymore.
Isn't that sad?
But I was like, what a himbo. Like, what a male bimbo, a mimbo. Like,
a mimbo.
He's just a male himbo. He's just I was like, oh my God, West. What are you talking about?
How he looked like Revenge of the Nerds.
Oh,
it was a terrible
Did he have a bow tie on?
He had a bow tie, glasses, the pocket,
the pocket
sweater.
Who's ever dressing him? They're trying to make him.
Was he making a joke in that confessional? I thought of Revenge of the Nerds.
I don't know. Nerds. But wait. West. They're trying. Who's ever styling him is trying to make him the polo bear.
Okay.
Because he was on Watch What Happens Live. He looked like he looked like he should join Vanita for a tennis match. He had on a white V-neck sweater that was green. It says polo on it. So he had the polo bear tie on. I noticed at the premiere for Summer House, he had on the polo bear sweater.
Oh, maybe
so they're making him to. Oh, he's got to deal with polo.
With them. Yeah,
he does. But he just looked like. He looked like he was coming from like the anti-tennis match, like the tennis match that takes place like in the basement, like not on Central Court.
No, you're
He's
right.
He's got his stash. His hair is always greasy. I'm like, what? And then I was like, just thank God we're not seeing the nipples. Like,
yeah. Oh, I know. No
too
more
much
of
in
that.
the nipples.
I can't take that.
And then I also found it funny after Jesse gets out of bed, like, I'm a butt guy, get to know me. He's like, I've been holding this in for 3 hours. And he goes in with West and just farts.
That made me laugh so hard because have they shown anything like that on this show?
I've never seen anybody
I was like, oh my God, like they're really letting the bathroom humor out.
He's like, I've been holding that in for 3 hours.
That was hysterical.
Nice.
That was hysterical. So then we get to
Paige and Craig.
It kind of opens up a lot about what's going on with them. You can see why they broke up.
You see the beginning of the end.
Yeah.
She was like, she's like, listen, I'm busier. And she's like, I can't even find 2 weeks to freeze my eggs.
Yeah.
You know, and that you could see like, and
the only way she was going to think about pregnancy was to make her parents happy. Like, I know my parents want grandchildren. That's why I'd want to have kids. She's like, Craig, I love you. I want to have kids.
Right. I want to have your baby. Right. But it's also like Craig said it, well, if you were this busy and we had a family, you couldn't choose work all the time. And she's like, don't be mad at me for being a strong, fierce woman.
Yeah.
And Paige said, I never want to live a slow life. And Charleston is a slow life. And Craig was like, but I do one day.
Yeah, he does.
I want to do that.
Yeah. He doesn't look like he fits in New York.
Writing on the wall.
And she doesn't look like she fits in Charleston. So like
At all.
And I think this was like the main reason.
And more importantly, she doesn't want to fit in Charleston.
No.
That is not her be all end all.
No, it's not.
And that's okay. But
that's okay.
So on, I think I'm readjusting in my chair and I smacked myself right into the microphone. I think by her saying all these things, I think she was trying to get Craig to break up with her.
It sounds like it because she said, "Are you breaking up with me in an Australian restaurant?"
Oh, right. I think
she kind of like put it out there. I think she's putting it out there almost like.
I think she wants him to do it. She didn't want to do it.
I don't think.
But then she ultimately had to be the one because he wasn't getting it.
Yeah, he wasn't getting it. He's crazy about her. So. There we have it.
That was the Summer House. Summer House. Now,
now I think next week Craig is like at the house and it shows his beef with Kyle.
Oh, I'd like to see that.
That I want to see.
Because they are still beefing pretty hard.
They're still beefing to this day.
And it's funny, in the episode, well, we're going to get into Summer House right now, but in this episode of Summer House that we're about to talk about, I saw Craig whip out the spritz. He's in his backyard.
Oh, you mean in Southern Charm? He's with
in Southern Charm. Yep. He's all of a sudden he's offering, drinks to Austin, and guess what? He pops open. He pops open 2 spritzes, and I was like,
he did it on purpose.
Oh, there we go.
Was Paige drinking the spritz?
He was, and he gave one to Austin, and I'm not sure what Paige was, but it was very clear when he went into his little cooler that he whipped out the spritz, and I was like,
okay, there we have it.
So let's get into Southern Charm now that we're talking about it. Let's take
don't
ourselves.
we?
Thank God. We started out still in the freaking Bahamas. I was like, please, God.
Well, they were leaving, right?
They were leaving, but please, why do we have to see them leave? Why? Why? Just show them back. Just say in one sentence, oh, we left the Bahamas. Like, oh, it was fun in the Bahamas.
Bye.
Why do we have to see any more? And
the good news is I don't think we're going to see Sienna anymore. And I only say that because it was just too much.
The creep, the ick, the cringe. It was everything.
It's like, I don't want to see that anymore.
It was everything.
I'm embarrassed
hideous.
for Shep.
Oh, it was bad.
It was bad.
And at one point, I think you saw Shep like smelling his shirt. I'm like, what are you trying to see? What you ate for dinner last night? Is that you're going to suck the stain? Like, he's sniffing his shirt. I was like, oh God, Shep.
Please. Oh, gross.
Oh, I can't even imagine.
I guess he doesn't like to do laundry.
I can't imagine what Sheppy smells like.
Oh.
He's all hot sauce and like mustard packets. I feel like that's what he smells like.
For the most part, when you come back from a trip, don't you just throw everything in the laundry?
Yeah,
even if you don't wear it.
Do you know that I don't even take it anywhere other than straight to the laundry room because I'm afraid there's some kind of bug in it or something.
That's what I think.
I throw it all of it right into the
and it goes through the plane. Like, you don't know if people were touching your stuff. Like, I don't know. I'm like,
no.
I guess guys can be different. So we do go to Craig's house, as you were saying, and this is where he opened the spritz with Austin and Paige.
Him and Paige. Paige was there.
Now, wait a minute. If Craig is an addict, why is he drinking spritz? Is there non-alcoholic spritz?
I don't know. I
don't
find
know. Or
Craig,
maybe he's not trying to drink as much.
I find Craig to be so like such a dichotomy. Like, he says he's an addict, but yet he's like half in the bag when he's telling him that. So at least that's what it looks like.
It appears.
I don't know maybe there's non-alcoholic spritz. I don't know, but I think the whole thing is confusing.
It is.
Like, Craig's an addict, but he's still like always has a can in his hand.
Yeah, he's got a can of something.
Like a bottle.
As long as he's not drinking
or
a bottle of
he's the Shep
Jaeger.
kind of alcoholic, which is like, let's just drink a lot less. Like, let's just drink 15 beers instead of 35. Let's just do it that way.
Okay.
And then I won't be as drunk and I won't be that big of a douche lord. So I don't know. But I did. So where are we? We're in the backyard.
We're in the backyard.
Oh, they show him the bees. I thought that was funny. They show Austin the bees.
Yeah, so that was a little bee farm.
But it was so funny because he was like, so Craig's like, hey, Austin, it's the bees. It's the queen bee. She's busy mating, and it's her mission to like have sex with them all. And then he was like, missionary, you mean, Austin? And then Paige chimes in. She's like, wait, the best part is she has sex with them. Then she flies off. And before that, she just rips their dick off. And she's like, I want to bring that into our culture. I thought that was so funny. I was like, that is
well, she is a queen bee type. So
totally.
I could see that.
Oh my God.
No, that was very funny. I don't know. It's making you see that it's just not going to work with Paige and Craig.
Well, then they go into the kitchen.
He was saying, like, I'm surprised you didn't leave me when I hit bottom.
Right. Well, then they're having this talk in the kitchen, and they're talking about, he's like, I can't believe you didn't leave me, blah 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 blah. And then he was like, you know what? He's like, when I had on my why, Paige was my why. Like my why. But it really should be yourself, Craig. I mean, he did say, well, I'm doing it for myself, but it was like, I think he really attributes that to her.
Yeah.
And he liked her enough to just be like, I'm going to do this. You know what I mean? Like, but he needed a woman to set him straight. He really did. Yeah. And then Paige was so funny. She said, just remember, if I have to leave the house in the middle of the night with the kids, I will. Yes. And then Craig comes back with the weirdest freaking comeback. He says, Oh, he's like, yeah, well, because you'll be able to leave because you make your own money.
Yeah, it was a strange thing.
It was
to
a
say.
strange,
like that's what you're thinking,
like
because
what?
she's independent, and I
don't know.
know.
I just thought it was weird.
I think Craig is weird. I
he
like
is
Craig,
weird, and he's also
he's a weird guy.
He's
that's
also
all.
a pathological liar.
Yes, he is.
He really lies all the time
even
about
Kyle's
everything.
been saying it on Summer House, and he's been saying it in
But he's
interviews.
been lying on Southern
and
Charm.
Even Andy's called him out on some of his lies.
But even on Southern Charm, he said, I've never lied on camera. And he's like, Craig. And then they cut to like 7 different instances. I mean, the man lied about taking the
JT,
bar.
saying that Pat was a bitch.
I think he thinks he hears these things, and he's just an embellisher. I'm a storyteller. I'm a lawyer. He was drunk saying that. I'm sorry.
Lawyer.
When he was on the beach.
He was drunk. It was kind of strange.
Talking about how he's an addict, which is even better.
While he's saying, I'm an addict, and that's why I stopped while he's drunk. Is he what do you call that, an oxymoron?
Yes, an oxymoron. Yes, exactly.
That's
and
it.
Craig's like, says my getting better makes Austin extremely uncomfortable. It's like, I don't know about that.
I don't think it does.
I think Austin's pretty even-keeled kind of guy.
I think Austin just loves the friendship. And he just wants to keep the friendship.
And he was happy to just be there hanging out.
Yeah, he was so, and that made me feel for Austin like, I miss this so much. And it was nice to see the 3 of them together.
And now, I don't know, now like we see Vanita rolling down the street and she looks like she just came from another tennis event. She should call her friend West from Summer House and go, West, I hear you're dressing as if you just came from center court. You want to come? Do you want to come to Ryan's party with me? But no.
Yeah.
She calls JT, which I thought was odd.
Yeah.
Because now she straddled
him. She really,
she's not letting it go.
Much for her. She really likes JT.
But she's not letting it go. And then JT was like, well, let me think on it. I mean, she now knows he has a girlfriend, right?
Yeah, it seems, I think the editing got a little messed
jumbled.
up.
Because why would she ask him?
But she knows so maybe she doesn't think it's serious. Like he's just seeing somebody, but it's not serious.
He seemed put out like, oh boy, are you really
asking? He didn't know what to say.
He's like, but I think he was more so like, are all the friend group going to be there? Would they know that I'm going? And da-da-da-da. Like she just doesn't. He's like, let me think on it on the night.
I don't know how I feel about JT at this point. Like, I'm annoyed with the way he's treating her, but at the same time, I feel sorry for him a little bit.
I don't know.
I feel like they're ganging up on the guy, but then again, he really isn't doing right by Vanita, so I don't know.
And then, now again, we have this whole scenario of Leva coming, meeting JT.
Right.
For
coffee.
Well,
it looks like Vanita called Leva. First.
Right.
Very upset.
Yes.
And, she heard from Ryan. Now, you know who Ryan is,
Ryan
right?
is married to the doctor friend. Yes. We've never seen the doctor. He must not want to be on the show.
I have seen him in prior seasons. He's very close with Miss Pat.
But I feel like he's never on the show.
He's barely been on the show, but I know who he is. And he is
what's
the doctor.
His name, though? I don't know.
Oh, wait, did we forget his name?
I don't know his name. No, Ryan is the guy, is the boyfriend.
Ryan is the husband.
But who's his husband?
His husband is the doctor.
Dr. somebody.
I forgot his name.
We'll just call him Doctor Who.
Doctor Who. You know what? Very early on in the early Southern Charm days.
He was on.
You know how Cameron her husband never wanted to be on the camera?
Yes.
Cameron would bring the doctor as her +1. Just to have somebody to go to events with.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So, that's good to know.
Yeah, that's how I know him, and I know that he's
I
close
love that
with
you
Miss
picked
Pat.
up on that.
That's remember
very
that.
in
That's
depth.
how I
in depth. That's very detail oriented. Very much so. I enjoy that. All right, so now at least we know. All right, so now Ryan's go ahead.
No, I was going to say Vanita calls Leva all upset because Ryan told Vanita that the barber told Ryan, they have the same barber, him
as
and JT.
Correct.
That JT was saying, yeah, I'm dating somebody, but some black girl has a crush on me.
Right, and is trying to ruin some black girl, and then
so it does sound like it's a little bit of a racial thing.
I felt
it doesn't
bad
make him
for
look
JT.
Good.
I felt bad for him because
after he clarified
because when she was like, "What? That makes me sound like a racist." He's like, "I'm not a racist. I don't think JT's a racist."
No, I don't think he is at all.
I don't think he is.
They made it a racial thing.
Thank God, though, the barber that he called for JT, I'm glad he called, and I'm glad he called on camera.
So am I, because he was so forthright about no.
He was like, "What did
Lev is like, then call him," and he did.
He did, and he said, "No. You just said
you go, JT."
But what he clarified? He just said, "Yeah, you said there was a woman who." Or that you like, or a cute girl.
That I'm seeing somebody, but this cute black girl likes me, and I don't know what to do.
Did he even say black girl? He just said a cute girl.
He might have just.
He didn't even say black girl.
I don't.
But yeah. I was happy for JT, because that's that's like salacious and libelous at that point.
It is. It really like will make people hate him.
Right,
for
and
doing that.
I'm glad that. Because I didn't believe it, and when Minnie said let's call him, like I was like good, because he knows that he didn't say that.
And the barber even apologized, because he said, I did get the story relayed, but it didn't come across the right way to Ryan.
JT's like,
he's like, I'm really. The barber was like, I'm so sorry.
JT's like, what did I do to this guy Ryan?
No, like he doesn't even know the guy Ryan. Right?
Like I feel like JT's kind of getting a little
ambushed.
Yeah, and if he left, I see why, because they all hated him.
I think he knows, like, this is going to play out to the world, and everyone's going to see me as this awful human being. So he didn't like. I don't blame him. I don't. I really understand it now.
But you know what's funny?
See, this is what I wrote down. It looks like the barber said that JT said this word. This cute black girl likes me.
Right, that's what he said.
Which is fine. I mean, we were describing how somebody looks. So, I don't know, but he's saying, why is Ryan doing this?
Right. Why would he hate me? I don't even know this guy.
Right.
So, I don't know. We'll see. But we're obviously coming to the end. We're going to see where JT, or maybe JT just disappears and they don't even address it on the show. We just know in real time that he left.
It does show at the end. It says 10 minutes later.
Oh, wait, what was that? Yeah.
And that was JT calling Vanita. Like, I'm shaking. I'm so upset.
Oh, right.
And he explained
right.
it. Thankfully, Vanita believed and understood. She was like, okay, I understand now. So
yeah, no, I'm glad.
She's a very good friend to him.
Yeah.
I think he values the friendship. I don't know about the chemistry between them and the relationship, but he does value her and her friendship. So.
And then there was just one more scene that I thought was funny when Taylor and Molly were walking their dogs. Molly is just what a quirky bird.
A bit.
I kind
of like her.
No, but I loved her because she was so relatable in this moment. She's like, if it's caramel and it's gelato and ice cream, like I'm having it. And then I just love that she takes a few things and then I do the same thing.
I do that all the time.
Throw it right into the trash. I'm like,
you just want the taste.
I'm like, so relatable. Like, just throws it down. But she's just so awkward. It's very rare you kind of come by somebody or on TV that's so awkward in themselves, but that's really just who she is. You know
what? She's awkward, but it seems like she embraces it.
Yeah, no, I like Molly.
So I like her.
She has won me over.
Me too. I would love to see her come back. And I do kind of like Taylor. I'm liking her a little more, and I like to see that they're friends now.
Yeah, and Taylor's becoming a little bit more normal.
Exactly.
She's not so depressed. She's not so like on edge. Like she was not feeling herself in these past few episodes.
Yeah.
And then it's funny how she points out that like Shep, they're talking about Shep, and she's like, it just gets weird when everybody's trying to put us together. And then I think it was Taylor who pointed out that they're both quirky with like a lot of the same. A lot of the same. They're both like quirky birds.
They're quirky birds. They're kind of like make sense together. But it was kind of cool to see that Taylor looked cool with it.
Right.
I was like, wow, she's really gotten over this.
Yeah, like she's like, yeah, it's not happening. But then did I see in the coming attraction or the coming scenes, did I see her and Shep in like this awkward kiss?
Yes, I saw it too.
God, it looked,
I don't
it
know.
even looked, I felt uncomfortable just seeing it for 10 seconds. Like it looked like Shep's face, and now granted, it went by fast, but it looked like Shep's face was like pointing forward and Molly was like, kissing him from the side. Like it just looked so odd. Like I was like, oh no. Oh no.
I don't think they're gonna make it, but hey, maybe they're giving it a shot.
Make it. I mean, I think what Shep will do is what the Shep does, which is bang, clang, and see you later. Like,
yeah,
bye-bye. And then try to be your best friend.
Oh, and then we'll be really great friends.
And then we'll be best friends, and it'll be cool.
And everything's good. I have respect for all women that I've dated.
Oh, okay, Shep.
And I only want the best for them.
And that was pretty much the whole episode.
Yeah, I think the only thing we didn't touch on was Sally is getting
her implants out.
Removed.
Yes.
Good for her.
Go, Sally.
Go, Sally. She doesn't like them. Good for her.
Sally's
she doesn't need them.
Sally's looking like she's getting a little less, I don't know, a little better. Like she's having a glow up halfway through the season.
She looks great. Yeah, I agree.
There's been definitely some differences there. So
I think so.
For the better.
Yes, I agree. She was on Watch What Happens Live recently. She looked great.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And that's really it. That's Southern Charm at its finest.
I think next week is the last.
Oh my God.
It's over.
First the Traitors, now Southern Charm, but April 15th comes back The Valley.
Can't wait.
Oh my God. It's supposed to be.
We saw the trailer.
Alex Baskin, who's the executive producer of Vanderpump and The Valley, said, I believe the quote was from him, that he's never put out a better season of TV ever in all the shows that he's done. Like, this is some crazy. Good. It's going to be some crazy schniznits.
Can't wait.
Can't wait. Mm-hmm. But for now, we're out from the living room. The ladies are currently getting up from the easy chairs and heading out into this day before St. Patty's Day. Everybody have a happy St. Patty's Day.
Yes, happy St. Patty's Day, everybody.
Jadink, be merry.
Yes.
All right, we'll talk to you and see you next time. Littler Podcast and Ladies in the Living Room on YouTube and Littler Podcast on Instagram. Thanks for listening.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.